is right there, an ambulance vehicle right there at the end. It make a turn right here. As I was going like this through the traffic, he was going along the traffic because it's a jam. But there's one thing about him, what he was doing is he kept horning. He kept horning with a horn. And also based on MK Ultra scenario, he's gonna have to explain about that horning, because nobody was actually on his way or anything like this. It's a call on its cars. And another thing is the two drivers, I remember his face also. They both looked through the windows at me when they were doing that stuff. I was on this side of the road here, not on the other side of the road. He was on the other side of the road, extreme other side of the road. So that is the stuff that maybe we can check. He's right there, he's going right through right there. Maybe we can check what is it that he wanted from me. Maybe he wanted to tell his story. It's not going to be difficult to do this because I remember his face, both drivers. That was a semi-blonde guy. They were all involved in this stuff. Dobar dan. Kaj se je pa zgodilo? Ker tam sem vas videl na mostu, da ste zraven mene, ste se peljali, bila gužva. Pa ste trobo občasno, pa ste pa v mene gledal. Kaj pa bilo tako?
Nisem vam trobo sploh.
Prosim?
Nisem sploh vam trobo. Kam imate ta telefon?
Tu je telefon. Ja, snemam z njim.
Kaj ste snemali zdaj?
Prosim? Vprašal sem vas, zakaj ste se peljali po mostu na drugi strani. Jaz sem bil na tisti strani tukaj, na levi strani. Pa kaj ste trobo po mene gledal, mislim?
Nisem vas trobo sploh. Zdaj nismo vam trobo.
Oba dva sta mene celo gledala. Celo gledala sta me.
Gledal sem tudi na desno stran, ja. Če sem gledal tudi po desno stran, sem pa rekel, sem desno gledal.
Ne bo šlo zaradi tega, ker, lejte, pelos... Lejte, sem trenutek, lejte.
Me ne zanima, me res ne zanima. Imam dosti tega, jaz sem domov. Hvala lepa.
Zaradi te zadeve se bom jaz še oglasil pri vas.
V redu je, gospod.
Zaradi te zadeve. Tu se ni končalo, ne? Tukaj da veste to. The incident with the ambulance vehicles was like this, that let's say that this is an ambulance vehicle here, that they sit inside of the ambulance vehicle. They horned exactly on two occasions. Let me demonstrate you. Let's say that this seat here is where the ambulance vehicle worker works inside. The first time when the car horned, the car did not, they did not look at me. They were just next to me, and that's all there was. But there is something else to it. So I kept walking, I kept walking. And then I was on the other side of the street. They were on that side of the street, and I was on this side of the street. Then it was interesting because I was walking like this. They were inside, they horned again. And I look at the two drivers, I look at the ambulance vehicle, that was the second time. And the two guys actually had to look a bit backwards. It wasn't even a 90-degree or something like that. They actually had to put their heads a little bit this way. He alerted the other driver to look this way, my way. And as I was passing by, I saw both the drivers looking at me. I was completely on other side of the road. And I was just looking at that ambulance vehicle that was coming next to me in this long line of cars. The one who signed the contract with the two ambulance workers was Robert Golop, the semi-blonde guy who, by the way, claimed that he is not blonde. No, already during MK Ultra, was involved in torture together with his comrade. Both of them were involved. And the thing is that these two drivers, the guy the taller guy that was there, not gonna semi, but light, actually brown hair guy, let's say, he was not really violent. He was not really violent. That was supposed to be like one of the better guys involved in it. And so they're creating incidents with people that did not cause so much violence. And pretty much these incidents are quite violent, because when I met him over there at ambulance station, and that stuff also was based on MK Ultra, brainwash with the police, with the Juršić, with Stefanic, the funny guy, with the police. They delivered me there, and they demanded from me to acknowledge there would be two vehicles with ambulance workers. Suggested me, in fact, he said, you will probably not even recognize me. This is the guys whom I have confronted right now. You will probably not even recognize me. And he said, send another vehicle that is going to park up front. That's something I'm going to video record once I go back. I don't know why the fuck, or maybe I did video record it, I don't know. I have to repeat the whole incident as it was. And it was at the rear entrance, ambulance entrance. They have two stations, two ambulance stations they have at that building. One is in the rear, but it's considered like front for the public. And then they have another one which is on the other side, which is completely closed only for the, like where I walked around the building, for the workers. I don't know if maybe they deliver people through there too. I have no idea. I didn't pay attention to that stuff. And so he said, you probably not even know who horned you. This is the way it was. You probably will not even know who horned you. And he said, send another ambulance vehicle. The thing is that the two ambulance workers looked at me so much that there would be no fucking way I would not remember who horned me. And so when I saw the two ambulance workers stepping out of the vehicle in front of the building, at the same time the other vehicle just slid through the rear. Barely I saw the vehicle going through there, because the main ambulance station is up front. I just proceeded in the back of the building because I knew exactly which ambulance vehicle it was. I knew exactly where it's gonna go. I knew exactly what whom to meet. And there they were. That goes into the category of the stalking, harassing, intimidating with the ambulance vehicles, based on prior torture, prior MK Ultra torture. At this area in the back of the building where the ambulance vehicles was stationed, I was also delivered by the police. Like I said, Igor Juršić. Garbage, not the police, but garbage from Novo Mesto police station, who insisted during MK Ultra that I could be arrested for approaching the ambulance vehicle from the rear, basically from the area that area supposedly is restricted solely to official use of the vehicle. It's not for public. Eventually they negotiated whether I could be and should be arrested based on approaching to the area in the back of the building. This is the way it was with the police. They negotiated, talking about the ambulance workers, they negotiated about getting me arrested for what would be obviously like a trespassing. to the area in the rear. I haven't seen any signs, I must say, that will be displayed that is a restricted area, but that's exactly how they have interpreted it. For approaching, oh yes, the police was at the back of this entrance, in the back entrance, in the back area where they park the vehicles. Exactly where you have seen me, I have met these guys. Insisted that that area be literally with Robert Golob, with politicians from Ljubljana, psychiatrist Peter Kapže, literally I just see now what this stuff was all about. And as you have seen, the drivers were very, very aggressive. They acted in a very aggressive way. It was like we were looking at all the pedestrians, not only you. On my side of the road, I don't know if it was, I don't think there was any pedestrians. There were no pedestrians on my side of the road, not a single pedestrian anywhere on my side of the road. So whom the fuck did these people have look on my side of the road, and how do you use horn in a traffic where is a long line of vehicles without anybody violating any of your rights or anything? As I go back, I'm going to describe the incident exactly where this horning started. There's no way for anybody to move out of the way to the ambulance vehicle. And, you know, this is 90 degree. Their eyesight went like this. They went backwards like this to view me on the other side of the road. I don't understand that kind of use of horns without any ambulance lights on, without any emergency on, just basically driving behind the cars and using a horns, which they did on 2 occasions. Okay, so this is a main intervention location. Basically, this is also with the entrance to, I don't know, that's a good question. But this is where the ambulance vehicles are parked or charged, whatever. This is also the last time where I was brought last year in, it was November the 30th, 2024, from the police station. This is where they delivered me right here. So there was this factor of lunacy they probably counted on. Anyhow, as I approach from the area of the bridge, and I don't want to, when it comes to license plates, from the bridge, cut right through, and I proceeded right there. There was an ambulance vehicle that came here, and I was just stupid. I did not video record that stuff. However, the guys whom I noticed stepped out of the ambulance vehicle were like a darker hair, different than what I observed inside of the ambulance vehicle, which in fact this is the way it was. Yeah, he horned and he was ahead of me, and as I looked toward the ambulance vehicle again, you know, this was the second time that he horned. It was the driver who bulged into me. He stared into me, you know. He literally stared. He stared into me like this, you know. And as I returned the look, he went like this, and he alerted the guy behind him, basically a co-driver, to also look into me. So there was no need, because I was just walking down the sidewalk. I wasn't making any kind of facial features. I was just, you know, this was the second time that he horned, and I was just interested in seeing what is going on. So obviously that I was so interesting to him that he went ahead and he alerted other driver. Now, from what I know, from what I understand, basically this is what they told me. They told me they even have a cameras inside of the vehicles. And whatever they do inside of the vehicles, this is at least what I was told, is recorded. I don't see any kind of signs here that would suggest, well, anything that would suggest me that I am not allowed to enter the area right here in the back. Although, of course, I had no need to enter this area. Still, it looks like the area is reserved for the employees, probably like a parking area. But there is no sign, anything whatsoever, any kind of restrictions, anything that would suggest you're not supposed to be here or anything like that. The security officers walked out during MK Ultra were also implicated from the home for elderly people. They had security officers that would come out and confronted me. And so, as you see, this also is the entrance area. This is important issue because Robert Golob had me also on another location. Security office supposedly is located here down somewhere. I have to think about that stuff. They were all involved, they were all implicated in a torture. So this doesn't look good for them. No signs, anything that would suggest you're not allowed to come here, you're not supposed to record anything like this. This is just for the garbage, for whatever it is. That's all there is to it. And that's basically is the stuff that we will proceed with. The security officers that were employed here, oh man, I have to think about this. Security officers, but security officers, they had the office. I would have to know this entire building based on MK Ultra brainwash, but you know, this isn't the thing. You don't go and get people like this. The two drivers were both visibly aggressive toward me. It was a hostile environment I encountered once I meet these people. And I'm actually glad I had a camera on, because it was just inappropriate the way they even interacted with me and so on. So if you want to invite me to your place like this, then it's going to be bad for you. This is going to go straight to the police station. This is going to be a police report. Igor Juršić, intimidated with the Štefanić, with the police officers, insisted that we don't see you somewhere in the back of the building, anything recording or anything like this. They had a police cars that would come from the road. So you see all kinds of people walk here that they would intimidate with. Arrest, and so on. So this is gonna go on account of more problems police got themselves into. It's all good. This young man that confronted me, actually I confronted him, the driver. Well, he how can I say, I'm thinking about if he has any brothers and sisters, and I do think that he's got brothers, but I yet have to think about it. They push forward what appeared to me clearly was a factor of the mental illness, a schizophrenia, therefore a psychiatry, with the young man posing next to the other driver who was present in the vehicle today during MK Ultra already sometimes in 2012 or so. So probably was not even a driver back then yet. He probably was just maybe kid in the school or whatever. So they wanted to get some proofs about mental illness also. This was a long line of cars as I was heading through this bridge. Line of the cars and all the way up there. And you know, it horned once. It's all on audio recorder anyhow. As I walk, I also audio record everything. He horned I observed the ambulance vehicle right there in front of me. Okay, I walk. He horned. There was no lights, ambulance lights on, anything like that. There was no way, no place that right where you see the white car right there, right? You see, there's nothing you can do. You have to continue on one. You see, it changes into 2 lanes right there, right? You can see that. There's no way that, let's say, this vehicle or that one or whatever vehicle that you see are waiting on that light, there's no way any of these vehicles could move away him. It's like this car here, Volkswagen Passat, was there. And there's nothing none of those cars could possibly do on the red fucking light. It's a column of cars like this. It was moving way slower than now. That's also a question why. I don't know anything about that stuff, but based on audio recording, you will notice that. You will also not notice, because as soon as I came on the bridge, the ambulance vehicle was there, almost, kind of. I practically walk entire bridge with the ambulance vehicle. So I don't know what happened. I don't know why was it that the road was so jammed up. I don't know. I can't say anything about that stuff, but you know, the stuff that I stated is exactly correct. Whatever it was, if it was jammed by the police. It was jammed based on MK Ultra scenario. And if it was not, it was just maybe hour like that. That's just, unfortunately, basically. So if it was just an hour like this, it was hour like that. But what they did is not based on regulations. That's not exactly that's a criminal conduct. Cannot do that. And the cars, if there's a red light in front of them, and if they have no place to move, are not going to move to you. So horning and looking pedestrians, in a way I pointed out, it's a bit weird. Don't you think so? Most of these ambulance vehicle drivers claim during MK Ultra are gonna leave the hospital and go for other jobs. They threatened to leave the hospital at once, all the ambulance workers, and so that stuff should be fun. They were looking for new ambulance workers, for alternatives to possible departures. Exactly the same madness as the one I witnessed at Home for Elderly People, where they also claimed that everybody's going to leave, all the workers are going to leave the Home for Elderly. So extermination procedure, Slovenian extermination procedure was fortified with not only crime against me by police, by ambulance, by hospital workers, and Home for Elderly, direct torture, physical torture. But they conditioned the outcome of the case with departure at once, departure from their jobs at once, if the case would become resolved. So what kind of people the fuck are this? What kind of workers the fuck are this? Ambulance and police and that kind of stuff. What the fuck is this? It's a garbage. It's not even people. This actually is quite funny. They were so silent for such a long time. I haven't heard from them, and today they're again on the back foot. There you go. Wow, we haven't heard this for a very long time. Is right there. An ambulance vehicle right there at the end. It make a turn right here. As I was going like this through the traffic, he was going along the traffic because it's a jam. But there's one thing about him, what he was doing is he kept horning. He kept horning with a horn. And also based on MK Ultra scenario, he's gonna have to explain about that horning, because nobody was actually on his way or anything like this. It's a call on its cars. And another thing is, the two drivers, I remember his face also, they both looked through the windows at me when they were doing that stuff. I was on this side of the road here, not on the other side of the road. He was on the other side of the road, extreme other side of the road. So that is the stuff that maybe we can check. He's right there, he's going right through right there. Maybe we can check what is it that he wanted from me. Maybe he wanted to tell his story. It's not going to be difficult to do this, because I remember his face, both drivers. That was a semi-blonde guy. They were all involved in this stuff. Dobar dan. Kaj se je pa zgodilo? Ker tam sem vas videl na mostu, da ste zraven mene, ste se peljali, bila gužva. Pa ste trobo občasno, pa ste pa v mene gledal. Kaj pa bilo tako?
Nisem vam trobo sploh.
Prosim?
Nisem sploh vam trobo. Kam imate ta telefon?
Tu je telefon. Ja, snemam z njim.
Vam se snemam zdaj?
Prosim? Vprašal sem vas, zakaj ste se peljali po mostu na drugi strani. Jaz sem bil na tisti strani tukaj, na levi strani. Pa kaj ste trobo po mene gledal, mislim? Oba dva sta mene celo gledala. Celo gledala sta me.
Gledal sem tudi na desno stran, ja. Ti sem gledal tudi po desno stran, se porigal sem desno gledal.
Ne bo šlo zaradi tega, ker, lejte, pelos, lejte, sem trenutek, lejte.
Me ne zanima, me res ne zanima. Imam dosti tega, jaz sem domov. Hvala lepa.
Zaradi te zadeve se bom jaz še oglasil pri vas.
V redu je, gospod.
Zaradi te zadeve. To se ni končalo, ne? Tukaj da veste to.